The calcium in your bones was made inside a star that exploded before the sun existed. Same for the iron in your blood. Every atom heavier than helium in your body was manufactured somewhere else and delivered here. Guess how much of you was made in the Big Bang itself? Roughly 1/10. The hydrogen and nothing else. Every other element came later, out of stars. You are second-hand material, assembled from the wreckage of things that died. And the process that built you is still running tonight, everywhere you look. The early universe was a disappointing place if you wanted chemistry. 3 minutes after it began, the whole thing had cooled enough to make atomic nuclei. Guess how many kinds of atom that first round produced? 3. Hydrogen, helium, and a trace of lithium so small you could ignore it. No carbon, no oxygen, no iron, nothing you could build a planet from, let alone a person. That was the entire menu for roughly 200 million years. Everything else on the periodic table had to be built afterwards, one furnace at a time. Stars are the furnaces, and the rule that runs them is simple. Gravity squeezes hydrogen until the nuclei touch, and touching releases energy. That energy pushes outward, gravity pushes in, and the star holds balanced for billions of years. Guess what happens when the hydrogen at the center runs out? The balance breaks. The core collapses, heats up, and starts fusing the helium it made earlier. Helium burns into carbon. Carbon burns into oxygen. Oxygen into silicon. Each stage runs faster and hotter than the one before it. A star spends billions of years on hydrogen and about a day on silicon. Iron ends the chain, and the reason is the most important fact in this story. Fusing light elements releases energy, which is why stars shine at all. Iron sits at the bottom of that hill, where nuclei are bound about as tightly as they get. Guess what fusing iron gives you? Nothing. It costs energy instead of releasing it. The furnace stops paying its own bills the moment iron fills the core. Outward pressure vanishes in about a second. The star falls into itself at roughly a quarter of the speed of light. Core collapse is where the interesting material actually gets made. The infalling core slams into itself and rebounds, and that rebound becomes a shock wave. For a few seconds, the dying star outshines its entire galaxy. Guess how long that furnace has to make everything heavier than iron? Seconds. The energy runs so extreme that reactions which normally cost energy happen anyway. Then the outer layers are thrown into space at thousands of kilometers a second. What was locked inside a stellar core becomes a cloud drifting between the stars. That cloud is the raw material for the next generation of everything. Gold refused to fit that picture, and working out why took decades. Ordinary supernovae make plenty of oxygen, plenty of iron, and disappointing amounts of gold. The heaviest elements need a place absurdly rich in neutrons. Guess what turned out to be rich enough? 2 dead stars colliding. 2 neutron stars, each a city-sized ball of collapsed matter spiraling into each other. In 2017, instruments caught one in gravitational waves and in light at once. The debris glowed exactly the way a cloud of freshly made heavy elements should. The ring on somebody's finger was probably forged in a collision like that one. Claims like that need evidence, and the evidence is more direct than people expect. Heat any element, and it emits light at frequencies unique to that element. Split starlight into a spectrum, and those frequencies show up as sharp lines. Guess what that turns a telescope into? A chemistry set. You can read the composition of a star you will never visit from its light alone. In 1925, Cecilia Payne used exactly this to show stars are mostly hydrogen. Her supervisor told her the result had to be wrong. She was right. Every abundance number in this story rests on lines in a spectrum. Recycling is the part that makes the whole system work. A cloud of enriched gas drifts for millions of years, then something disturbs it. It collapses, lights a new star, and forms planets out of the leftovers. Guess how many rounds our own material has been through? At least 2. The sun contains heavy elements, so it formed from debris that was already enriched.
Earth is built from the ash of stars that finished burning before the sun was born. Everything solid you have ever touched is somebody else's leftovers. The habit worth taking from this has nothing to do with astronomy. Everything you use arrived with a history, and most of it was made by somebody now gone. The language, the roads, the standards, the instruments, the arguments already settled. Guess how much of what you work with today you actually built? Almost none of it. You inherited a furnace somebody else ran until it killed them. The only question worth asking is what you leave in the cloud for the next round, because something will form out of it, and it will be made of whatever you left behind.